P, that's some pounds, P.
I'm gonna show me away, P. Go on, pound. Go pound. Go in that bag.
In that bag.
I'll take.
Go ahead.
With Young Thug released from jail, he can finally speak on Gunna snitching out of the YSL trial, because within a couple of days, Thug tweeted, "Gunna, stop acting like we friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy." And he'd later share this on Instagram Live.
Stink, I miss you.
I miss you too. What you doing?
Nothing, bored. You don't like him?
No, if I'm up in the room.
Cause you was being mean. He felt your energy.
Man, I don't even play. I fly all the way to LA. Is that?
You ain't gonna touch him.
But only moments after his Instagram Live, news outlets reported concerning news coming out involving rapper Gunna being followed and approached by local gang members. Many connect the situation to Young Thug or revenge for snitching, because the day after Thug got out, he shared, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats." The nickname Wham refers to Lil Baby, because Lil Baby didn't shy away from dissing Gunna when he snitched out of the case. Lil Baby responded to Thug on Instagram by saying we should. And that same day, we'd see Thug share a short Instagram clip where he linked up with T.I. as he threw shade at Gunna by saying how he came home and did it the right way.
Hey man, what you got to tell these people?
Back. Back, Jack.
You feel me?
You did.
Hey man, ain't no cap in it.
No cap in mind, right?
You feel what I'm saying?
The right way.
It's time.
The right way, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right way.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
And go tell that.
DJ Academics then confirmed the beef between Thug and Gunna, as he announced Young Thug personally told Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and other rappers that Gunna is a snitch.
The streets are so atrocious. Young Thug told everybody that Gunna was a snitch. I'm telling you this, I don't give a if you believe me. That's what he sent to. Or he sent a message to Durk, Baby. There's a few other rappers, I just won't call their names. Just because some of them just told me in privacy. All of them rappers start not with Gunna, speaking out, they're chilling away. Thug got out, Gunna kinda hot. It ain't like you're trying to really like jump and work with Gunna, but
what makes it so weird is that when Thug was still locked up during the YSL trial, we heard Young Thug's father tell Lil Baby to be quiet, as Thug's father defended Gunna snitching.
How do you feel about Lil Baby throwing at Gunna for his plea deal?
He need to shut the fuck up, cause he don't know what's going on. You know, he's going off of what he heard. When have y'all went to a court date to support Slime, to support Jeffrey, to support Thug, however you want to name him?
But the story would get crazier when Thug's phone call from jail to Lil Durk was revealed, where Thug was asking Lil Durk to diss Gunna for him.
Hey Durk, I know I want you on. I'm dropping this surprise album on the same day Buddy dropped his album. Coming up soon. I need a verse from you. If you feel like replying, if you feel like you want to reply to it, saying or something, man, don't do it. Drop it on my album. I'm dropping a surprise album on the same day that drop it. Send your verse in, bro. I want you and Wham on the same song. Send your verse in.
With the beef continuing to escalate, more rappers are getting involved. We saw Drake hitting up Thug, with Academics saying Drake flew to see Young Thug just 2 hours after his release from jail and gave him $1 million.
They say 2 hours afterwards, Drake flew to Thug and allegedly gave him $1 million. Drake didn't tell me. Drake gonna hit me up and be like, which, by the way, super strategic move. Super strategic. Thug was in jail talking about let's squash all this beef. If I'm Drake, I need Atlanta.
Although with Young Thug speaking out about Gunna a few times, it could end badly for him, because he could violate his probation agreement if he continues. Academics thinks it's all a setup to give Thug more time in lockup. It was reported Academics speaks on Thug getting released and says the stipulations that he's got are a setup for the court to try to put Young Thug back in jail, explaining it's all a setup for Thug to eventually fail and go to prison for 20 years.
I know some of his fans think he beat the case. He definitely didn't beat the case. Beat the case means you got no stipulations. The Young Thug thing is a win, but it's also a huge setup. If you gonna tell me that they're gonna monitor him on a probationary basis for 15 years, can't be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or gang members, he can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe is gang activity. Well, he's always gonna talk about him and his is doing his thing. They might consider that gang activity. He might be like, yo, me It's like, yo, we going to the park getting lit. We going to the club getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you talking about the gang. So, we celebrating right now because I think we could all see, if you follow that trial at all, whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain. You can see this was going through it. Like, he gained a lot of weight. Everybody know Thug was not that weight. So we happy he got out, but we definitely got to be very cognizant of how it's going to play out.
However, a professional lawyer gave his thoughts on the deal and said how good of a deal it is for Thug, assuming he stays out of trouble.
Young Thug absolutely won that plea deal for so many reasons. One, the prosecution got none of what they wanted when you think about what the charges were and what actually got pled to. And two, he saved himself some major civil liability. Let me break that down. So first off, the prosecution had charged this man with 8 counts. 2 of them were very serious. 2 of them were basically saying that for years you were the leader of a criminal gang that committed murders and all types of acts all over the city of Atlanta. Those 2 charges Young Thug did not plead guilty to. Had he pled guilty to those, he would have gotten serious time, and all the victims of all of this alleged criminal street gang activity, including the families of could have sued him civilly in court and said, hey, this man pled guilty to doing it. Now he's got to pay me. He pled nolo contendere. The judge accepted that plea. The prosecution said, Judge, you should not allow a nolo contendere plea on those 2 counts. The judge said, I am going to allow it.
However, problems with the RICO trial are still ongoing because Thug's legal team is taking legal action claiming the state stole from Young Thug. According to the report, rapper Young Thug had millions in assets in his home when he was arrested, and now the state wants to seize it. The only problem with that is that he earned it with his very successful music career. The main item in question is a Richard Mille RM Bubba Watson that's worth close to $1 million to buy. Since Thug was free from the YSL trial, a police officer took the stand the next day and happened to be wearing a Richard Mille.
3 p.m. to 11 p.m. All right. Can you tell the jury some of your responsibilities and what your role was at Zone 3 Evening Watch?
Thug found it funny after the reports went viral, so he hopped on Instagram to laugh about it.
I'm gonna laugh. I just jumped on here to let you ladies know that yes, a goat can go live. Whoa! What's up? Who up right now? What's up? Who up right now?
That same day, though, we'd see Thug get a head start on setting a positive influence on the next generation, because his lawyer was doing a motivational speech and he FaceTimed Young Thug to share on what's important in life.
You guys should become lawyers. I think it's very important to help people out of the situations they're in the best you can. I mean, what side do you want to be on? You want to put people in prison for mistakes? Because everybody makes mistakes, we're human. And everybody on this phone, everybody in this classroom, you always need to know that you're one mistake away. And I feel like we need more people like Brian Steele on this earth and less people like that. So I think it's very, very, very important to become lawyers. I think it's very, very important to be a lawyer over any other thing. Lawyers and doctors are the 2 greatest beings that were ever founded,
Young Thug was lucky enough to have Brian Steele representing him in the case, which brings us back to how Thug managed to get released from the case, because Young Thug made a speech in front of the courtroom describing the man he truly is.
Anything that you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, My managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just having so much time invested into this, and I am a smart guy, I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad.
Thug continued in court and made everyone cry in the room by acknowledging his wrongs and promising to be a better person.
I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. I I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me, because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides, you know. I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody, for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that.
But he'd also end off his speech by sharing how he's a positive influence to the community, sharing how back before the case happened, he performed free concerts and also donated millions to underdeveloped communities in his area.
You find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late, and maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on or anything, I don't know, but I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, you know. I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like free shows, and I always did that, you know. I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. You know, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity, and I did.
But what's weird about the case is that he never was supposed to make a plea in the courtroom, but Thug admits he had to do it. With the report, Young Thug's lawyers say Thug insisted on this because he couldn't handle 3 more months of his kids hurting if there was a chance he could come home today. His lawyer told him they were winning the trial and was okay with either decision.
For almost 2 years since we did our jury selection initiation on January 4th, 2023. Mr. Williams been sitting in a jail since May 9th, 2022. This is 2.5 years waiting for the conclusion of the state's case and a verdict from the jury, and that's why he is tendering this plea. I'm telling the court this, and the court knows when you came out the first time, it's very hard for Mr. Williams. I am not supportive of what we're doing right now. I'm not against it. But I told Mr. Williams, you okay with me saying this? Yes. I told Mr. Williams that I think we're winning the trial and we should go to verdict. But he told me I can't wait another 3 months if there is any possibility I could go home because I have children that are hurting.
The judge knew Young Thug was emotional here, which is when the judge gave her final verdict on Thug's sentencing.
So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years, which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served.